Hey, I
Right.
got some little flyaways that are trying to do their own little thing.
Yeah, it fucking looks dumb. Fix that shit.
Right?
I'm terrible. Asshole.
Like,
All right. Right. That'll work. All
yeah.
right. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Cool. Nice to meet and
Yeah,
greet
same.
and whatnot. All right. So, what's the game plan, boss?
Yeah, I figured we just talk about what you've been up to and um about what you're advertising, and I got
Okay.
the book right here if it'll let me. Oh, it's gonna be
Yeah. Oh,
there it
it's
is.
kind of there you go, baby. We do what we want.
So what
So,
made you decide to write a book?
well, first of all, you just gotta.
Ah,
There you
I
go.
love it.
Somebody made this shirt for me. So this
Oh
is
my gosh.
like,
Oh, it's like the
oh
zebra,
yeah,
fruit
bro.
striped zebra dude.
I'm not. Well, it's my unicorn zebra. He's all flashy, but he does
I
what he
love it.
wants to. So it's for whatever reason, it's legit. Like me and the old lady, we are the zero fucks given crew and do what we want and all that. And people notoriously give us good feedback or good gifts or any number of stuff. So that's kind of, as you ask, like what prompted writing the book or whatever that is. I mean, that's some of it is just that's kind of who we are. So I mean, it started as anything as much of autobiographical as anything. So again, um just see, well, question mark, just so I don't, because I can go for days. Like I got a double neck mouthpiece and it's dangerous. Um, so what do you want to do as far as topic stuff and what kind of timeline are we on?
We don't have a timeline and we can just spitball it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, because my day is open.
That's
So
that's my
uh
favorite thing to do is to
cool.
just
Now I,
spitball.
I like to I like to freewheel it and see where things are gonna go. So and we can go down the metal avenue, we can go down the mental health, either or, like, and these are all topics of high passion.
Same.
So again, we can go for days, but we'll start with the book because that's kind of what's got us on this thing. So um, I mean, again, I have a background in recovery. I should have been dead in the 80s, etc. So I've got my glory story. Um, got my education in the gutter and all that good shit. And by the grace of the universe, whatever we want to call that, is I lived through the 80s and I'm still upright and kicking and I've gone through any number of processes, but I got in the field of like uh, addictions treatment and mental health stuff well over 15 years ago. Helped a shrink in town, like build an outpatient business, and things just kind of went from there. So, and he spared no expense making sure I got educated and trained and all that good stuff. So, besides my own anecdotal history, um, I got the education piece as well. So it's been a brilliant meld of what that is. And so, again, luckily enough, it apparently has been beneficial to others on the planet, which I'm truly grateful for, humbled by that, and is all wonderful. Um, again, it's the thought of writing a book. People said stuff. Oh, you should write a book. La la la. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And but it was probably about a year and a half ago. I was working at an outfit that brought in one of those New York Times bestsellers, self help gigs, all that kind of stuff. We're gonna kumbaya, get the whole team together, that shit. And that was kind of my post as I leaned up on the wall. I was way too cool to do that, and like I've read 100 of these and whatever, and so I'm just there in spirit, and I'm kind of management material there. So, but I had one of the employees, somebody I supervised, as I'm sitting there being too cool for this shit, say it's kind of lame, Walker, and I was like, bitch, please. And I'm like, oh yeah, I was like called out. And I was like, well, shit. But I listened to people talk about it who was reading the book, and I'm like, okay, that sounds like it's right up my alley. So I went home and I read it, and it was a quick read, and I didn't get into the details of the history, just the science and the solid and all that good shit. And it's good. It was a good piece of material, and we're all so hung up on ourselves. We'll go through something like that and pick it apart and say, yeah, well, that was dumb. I didn't do any of that this time. It was weird. I just, when I got done with the book, I just thought to myself, it's like, I could do that. Like, I know all this shit. Like, this is what I do with
Mm-hmm.
my life and a living, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And so it was it was the proof, and I shared that with everybody around work. We'd have discussions. Again, I'm doing supervision with all these counselors and all this stuff, and we'd talk, and we talk a discussion. I go, it's in the book, it's going to be in the book, going to be in the book. And that's as motivating as anything. Is like, once you go public and start talking shit, then you better show up, or
Yeah,
everybody's going to know you're a dipshit, right? So there
totally.
I was, throwing myself out, um, to make sure I didn't stop. So there you go. That was kind of the premise for it. And so that's really how it came about. There's plenty of other stories about how that went, but you know what? You're going to have to buy the book and read it. It's all
All
right.
right.
Because I'm not going to read the whole book right now and tell you all
Right.
the secrets. But the bottom line is, it took what it took. And what I will tell you is, by whatever punishment slash grace, depending on how you choose to look at it, of the universe, is there is going to be a sequel. I mean, there is going to be a volume two on this thing of sorts,
Nice.
and we're going to call that one "We Still Do What We Want,"
Yeah,
because we're
perfect.
still doing it. But the thing of it is that I had this book written over a year ago, and then sat on it, and didn't do any of that stuff. And then I went through a process of having some medical stuff. I went down for a while. It was all very, but that's all kind of in the intro of the book, is like, literally, I had a surgery last April where, like, I had these neck vertebrae doing this rubbing on my spinal cord. And literally, like, the doc said, you are damn near paralyzed, maybe dead. Like, it had rubbed all the way through. I couldn't walk for the last few days. Like, fuck, what the? And it just kind of progressed really quick. But um, so just to kind of make it a thing, like, I started writing the first chapter of the new book like 1 year to the day of that. And so
Wow.
the second book's gonna touch, again, it's all therapeutic, it's all kind of following in that stuff, but it's, again, it's more of that anecdotal stuff, like, hey, if you read the first book and you think it's bullshit, I'm going to tell you how I lived it and progressed and got through it. And it's like, this is not bullshit in this book, and I didn't just write it or read it or any of that. Like,
You've lived it.
this is how I live my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life. All I'm going to say, and this is what I share with people all the time, is you find the people who got what you want, or they're getting, and then copy that. And
Right.
it's just that simple. Like, I touch on it a lot in the book. Like, I try to keep shit simple because we like to complicate. We're the complicators. The universe is very simple. Runs on physics, garbage in, garbage out. It's just that fucking simple. And if I don't like what I'm getting, stop doing what I'm doing.
Right.
Durr. I mean, and
Right.
it can't, yeah, it can't help but change at that point.
Yeah.
And good, bad, or indifferent, at least it's something different, right? So,
Mhm.
um, that's just kind of, anyway, that's any number of ramblings there, but that's where I'm at with that. and I
Definition of
totally.
insanity is not part of your vocabulary, it doesn't sound like then.
So it's in the book, but you bring it up, but I'll go ahead and do it because it's
Yeah.
funny and because I'm an oddball when it comes to shit, and I'm totally overdo things. So the definition of insanity, if we steal that, doing the same shit, expecting different results, and to which I've got to tweak it the Walker way, and so doing the same things, expecting different results is not insanity. That's stupidity.
Oh,
Like if you
yeah.
do the same shit, you get the same shit.
Hmm.
So doing the same shit, expecting the same result, but doing it anyway. Now that's insane. That's
Yeah.
crazy. It's like every time I do this, every time I go out with the fuck boy, every time I, do this stupid job, it always works out bad. I think I'll do it again. And here, right? And you do therapy stuff, right? So this is right up your alley. You
Yep.
deal with people that are just like, hey, I'm going down the same road for like the 12th time and it always sucks, but I'm going to go ahead and do it again. And you're just like,
Yeah.
okay, that well, good luck.
Yeah.
like you expect something different. It's like, no, I expect it's going to suck, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. So that's
Yeah.
just, anyway, there you go. There's my two cents
So
on that.
those are the hardest people to work with because they are like, help me, help me, help me. And
Uh-huh.
then I'm like, okay, well, this is some things that you need to think about or look at, or maybe challenge within your mind to help yourself, because
Mhm.
everybody is going to have different answers, right? We get like, my
Sure.
answer is not going to be your answer is not going to be the next person's answer, and so on and so forth. But you
Right.
still can guide people. And yeah, when they're just like, yeah, like you said, week after week, I just don't understand. And I'm like, take a step back and you will. Like, it's pretty clear.
Sure. Yeah. And you always know when it's going to be like that. Like you can lay something out that's very simple and solid, and they sit there and they go like this, like and whatnot. And again, no judgment on it. It's just where people are at. But
We
you
all
always
do it.
know
We all do it
is
at times.
is you yeah, you let them know, like try to do this or whatever, and you get the yeah but or no, and it's like, okay, you're I guess we're done here, like,
Hmm.
you know you
Yeah.
know pay the bill at the front desk. See you next week.
Oh, right.
Maybe
Right.
whatever. Like I don't know what to say. Um, and again, the best. So I'll tell you a story just cause, and it's this whole. It follows the topic, but this whole book adventure has just been an amazing last several months, and it's I cry every day. It seems like because it's just something amazing, and but when we talk about stuff like that, people like you and me are in this position, quote unquote. We got some answers because it's just they've been effective for a long time. We're just sharing the message, right? So you do that, and people in therapy talk about burnout all the time or stuff like that, and it's just because we get hooked or engaged with the client or start having feelings about stuff. And don't get me started on it because I have none of that, which is I'm so grateful for in a loving and caring manner. But the bottom line is I can't afford to get hooked up in other. I got enough drama in my own life. Like I don't need yours too, but I'll help you
Yeah.
out. But the bottom line is that um through the whole process, and it was the same for me. People gave me great fucking answers long before I ever listened to any of them. Right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
just the universe runs the show. We hear what we hear when we hear it, see what we see. It's just that. And all we get to do as minions on the planet is just plant seeds, carry memos, however we want to call it. And so, again, my proof of the pudding, as far as that goes, again, is like I've sat with thousands of people over the course of my lifetime in recovery, therapeutic, whatever environments we want to talk about or call those. And, you do the right thing because that's what you think you should be doing. And the outcomes are totally out of our control. I mean, it's the universe's job, not
Hmm.
my job to save the planet. For crying out loud, you know,
Goodness.
yeah, I'd jump off a cliff. Like
Seriously.
I can't have that much.
No.
Um, so I just walk and do my shit, right? And it's just so plant seeds, and we most. I mean, in the moment, somebody said, "Oh, well, that's great," or that was impactful, But over time, very infrequently do we get to see the fruits of our labor, for
Yeah.
lack of a better way to put it, which is great because people say, "Oh, well, that was great." It's just like, hey, I take no credit for any success you have because the world I live in, like 90% of the people I deal with are going to die a slow, miserable death. And I don't want to be responsible for that either. So
Yeah.
I just, hey, I'm just working here, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. But I will tell you, I've had several people crawl out of the woodwork, just people that I've crossed paths with, and you kind of pseudo follow these people, see what they're doing and all that kind of stuff, but have literally, you know, through some kind of post or some kind of outreach or something like that, just like let me know that that little lyric that's in the book, I said that in a group 8 years ago while they were fucking detoxing, and it mattered. You know what I mean? And they're just like, I fucking remember that. I've been clean ever since. I da 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 da. Right. And I just, yeah, I get the, I mean,
Yeah.
fuck, dude, is that not? I mean, that's
So
the most
powerful.
amazing. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
not like I'm looking for it because, again, if that's what I'm trying to gain, I'm not going to get it. I mean, it's just, it is what I get to live my skin. I do what I do for that. I go to bed at night and I'm okay when I look in the mirror. It's like, okay, you're not a fuck up anymore. And it's
Right.
like, okay, that's good enough. Anything else is creepy.
Yeah.
And so again, the reason for the book or whatever it is. And so I'm sitting here with this project and grateful, really grateful that we crossed paths again. I'm trying to figure out, and it's not because I'm hung up on myself. It's kind of like what I said in the book, and when I read the other guy's book, it's like we've been fucked up since the beginning of time, and we've been trying to fix this shit forever. So it's not like anybody's making up anything new. Like it's
Yeah.
all been done and said before. Every decade or so, somebody takes a treatment modality, knocks the dust off it, changes words around a little bit, calls it something different. It's like, but it always boils into those same basics, right? But with this thing, because again, I just, of course, in my own mind's eye, like I think I'm a big deal, but that's because I'm an arrogant, self-centered shit, just like everybody on the planet. But when I, again, it's like when that guy starts talking this fucking route, he starts doing this. I'm like, shut up, dumbass. But the reality of it is that, and I don't have any headspace about it. Is we all have our niche in the planet. I expect this is mine, or
Oh,
at least that's what people tell me. So I'm sitting
yeah.
here and I've got this product, quote unquote. I've got this whatever. It's like I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be take all the dull, boring textbook science, and I'm going to fucking put a mohawk and use f bombs on it, and you're going to hear it like you didn't hear from the master's level clinician doctors in a fucking cubicle and all that. Like you need to hear it from the hood or whatever, the gutter or wherever we come from. So that's, I mean, that's just who knows? Like I get a vibe, like I'm on the right track. And again, it's just this process is, I sit back and go, okay, I think I'm on the right track with this shit. Um, but now the proof in the pudding is the bottom line is, okay, how willing are you? How much effort are you willing to put into it? How big do you want to go? Like, what do you want to do? And if you sit there and tell your clients all day, you can do whatever you want, right? And try to sell them that bullshit. Um, you know what? Dog on it. You like, here I go. So this is what I'm going to do. It's just proof of, okay, it's not just therapy speak, it's practice what you preach, fool. And
Right.
then, then what happens will, again, will tell us whether it's legit or not, if that makes sense. So it's kind of, anyway.
Yeah, it's not the
So,
do as I say, not as I do. It's the actual walking and doing the walk, doing the talk,
right?
not just, yeah.
I mean, so I don't know. What do you do? Can I interview you for a minute?
Not used to that.
Yeah,
I'm a,
why?
I'm,
I mean, because you do therapy stuff, right?
yeah, I'm a mental
So
health
what's your
therapist.
gig? Okay, so what do you do?
Yeah, so mental health therapy. I do couples counseling as well and
Mhm.
family counseling, but mostly it's one-on-one. Yeah, just helping people on their journey. And you had talked about burnout, which I have reached before because I did not know how to protect myself initially
Right.
from other people's stuff. But I heard somewhere that it's their journey. You know, it's not like you can't control it. You can't be the
Mhm.
one who's gonna like hold their hand through it because that's just not how the world works. And so you can give them, like you said, plant those seeds or give them some tools, as you know, we say in the therapy world, to be
Mhm.
able to figure out what their own answers are for them and them to be able to you give them the whatever and then they take it and they do whatever with it. And that's, I mean, that even outside of therapy, just as humans, that's how we are.
Mhm.
You know, we have these interactions, we have these relationships, whatever. We take what we can from them, learn what we can from them, hopefully grow and learn. Not
Right.
everybody recognizes that that's something that they can do or want to put
Mhm.
the energy into or have the energy to put the energy into, whatever it is.
Right.
But yeah, taking these little like nuggets of experience, wisdom, whatever, and utilizing that to hopefully grow and just be better versions of ourselves. We should always we're flawed humans. We should always be wanting to learn and grow our whole
Sure.
life, you know? And
Sure.
so yeah, it's just kind of helping kind of in a more um work-wise career-oriented way of helping people do that that are coming and asking you for help
Right.
and
Okay.
meeting them where they're at because some people just want to come in and vent. That's what they want to do week after week. And if that's what
Mhm.
they want to do, then that's what I have to offer them instead of trying to again take control and be like, no, this is what you need to do to get off this crazy spin cycle that you're on. You know, no,
Sure.
this is what you feel like you need to vent it out, but you're having a hard time getting off that hamster wheel. We'll get
Right.
there when you're ready, you know?
No, I mean, that's uh, a great point. And, it's a catchphrase in our world. A lot of that, meet people where they're at, and so you hear that at every conference you go to, right?
Yeah,
And
but
all
it's
this stuff. But
true.
no, and it matters. I'm going to share a story just cause. And again, these are probably snippets in the book or whatever, but I had a guy one time, and it's a brilliant story of that. And people shake their heads at me sometimes because I'm really outside of the box a lot of the time.
Good.
And, but,
Not a bad thing.
but I'm right. So fuck them. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But the thing, this guy's in my office, right? And he's a systems guy, he's probation, whatever, drug court, one of those things. And so he's there, and I'm doing my standard spiel, sitting in my chair, and I got my clipboard. And I'm drawing little pictures of rat brain, and it's like, this is where you're at. So you go to 90 meetings in 90 days, blah, right? And just doing the spiel,
Hmm.
and he's kind of chilling on the couch, and just kind of and it's very obvious that he's not engaged, and I finally just stop in the middle of it, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you even doing here?
Ah,
And he's like, well, I have to be here. And that was long before the book. And I'm like, you don't have to be here, bro. It's like, there's the door. there's no bars on it. Like, I'm not holding you at gunpoint. It's like kick rocks, bro. I get paid
Yeah.
by the hour anyway. Like, I could give $0
Right.
about what you're doing here. And so please don't tell me you have to be here. You don't. He's like, well, if I don't go to these, then I'll get sanctioned and go to jail. And I'm like, well, I'll take that as a compliment that I'm at least this much cooler than prison sex. So thanks for showing up. But I'm like, no, I'm right. I love your reaction. So he's sitting there like stunned, right? He's like, "Brr." And I'm like, so what do you want to do? And he's like, tries to be sarcastic or whatever, too cool, kind of shit. But it's where he's at, right? He goes, okay, I want to be able to deal methamphetamine successfully in Union County. And I go, cool.
At least he's
I
being
throw,
honest.
I throw the clipboard off to the side. I said, check it out. I said, first thing, circa 2010, Union County, USA, like you get caught moving methamphetamine, that's a felony. You're going to prison. I said, second thing is you got to find a reliable cook because you can't test it, stay clean. And he's just like, whoa. He's like, what are you doing? I
You
said, that's what you said you wanted to do. So
gotta find
I
your Walter
said,
White in the world.
yeah, I'm like, let's fucking go there. I said, that's what you want to do. Let's see if we can do it. I said, bottom line is, if we come up with a good enough plan, maybe I'll invest. I mean, fuck, I've been build my own caseload. Fuck, I don't know. I got resources now because I'm not doing meth. And he's just like, fuck. And but it was great. It was, I'm sure, because he's been through the systems, right? I'm sure it's probably the best therapy session he'd ever had because somebody wasn't cramming bullshit that he needed to hear, whatever. Like it's not his time. And of course, I never saw him again. I'm pretty sure he just left there and got fucked up and went to jail or whatever, whatever the scene was. But the bottom line is like I didn't, time is valuable.
Yes.
And when I sit down with somebody, like I honor that shit as much as, fuck, that's my hour too, bro. Like I
Yeah.
only got TikTok, and if you're gonna be like a waste of that, I'm not down with it. Like I got
Yeah.
shit to do, and if you're not in the game, but I respect that hour as well. Like you're, however you want to call it,
Hmm.
that's the reality of the universe is like you are making a choice
Well,
to
yeah.
come sit with me and just like you and me are talking right now, like this is like an hour or however long out of Nika's life. That's important. You only got X amount of them, and somewhere, and I'm very grateful for that. Like somehow I got on your schedule. Like I'm worth a piece of that because you're going to be on your deathbed sometime and you're going to go, fuck, I wish I had that hour back because that guy was a dumbass. Like I'm not going to be that guy. You know what I mean? And nor am I going to allow you to be that because if you get anywhere close to that, like I'm already
Right.
gone, bro. I got shit. The universe
Yeah.
is calling, and and again, it's just part of that psyche or mentality, which drives the whole book process, would drive my therapy process and all that shit. Because again, I should have been dead in the 80s. And I share it with people. I share it in the book. I share it all the way around. Like every morning I wake up is a fucking gift. I should not
Yeah.
be here.
Right.
Drug deal gone bad, car accident, like any bed, overdose, any number of 100 ways that
Yeah.
people I know went out. Like they
Yeah.
are not here. They did not make it to the 90s. And so
Yeah.
that's very much a reality. It's not just hyperbole and something you hear at a fucking NA meeting so you can sound cool. That's that's real shit. And that's probably why I'm still clean and successful through all that process it's that big of a deal. Every
Yeah.
day I get up, it's just like this fucking matters. And here I am.
Right.
And somehow, I mean, I share that with people all the time. Like, if you are not digging this for whatever reason, like go yell at the universe.
Yeah.
I didn't wake me up this morning like somebody decided I needed to be here to fuck with you today. So have fun with me. And there's only like one day that's not going to happen, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be gone, and I'm not going to give a shit anyway. So I'm
Right.
always on win-win status,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
which helps with all the attitude and everything else because it's a crazy, fucked up planet. Lots of weird
Yeah.
shit going on all the time, and it's like I just got like mounds of popcorn. I'm just like, fuck, cool, entertain me. Cool. It's like half the world's blowing it up. It's like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
See you somewhere in the stardust 3 billion
Right.
years from now. Like I could give a rat's ass. Like I'm just gonna go through my shed, my day, and anyway. So
It's a good perspective to have. I talked to Kreigel of Elevetti a week or two ago, and he had
okay.
a really interesting perspective on life too. Just how like we're so insignificant, the
Excuse me.
whole universes were so insignificant, and at the end of the day it doesn't matter. Like it feels
Hmm.
so heavy and it feels like it matters so much when you're in the meat of it, but really it's such a small insignificant amount of time, and we're such insignificant people
Hmm.
that I don't know. It was a really cool talk. I'm butchering the
Right.
whole conversation, but it was an interesting talk because that's how I think of it too. I'm like I'm a tiny tiny dot in the whole reality of everything and all the years before and the years after
Sure.
and just the universes in general, that it helps like take I think it freaks some people out but for me it takes a lot of the like pressure off. It makes me feel less stressed because I'm like,
Hmm.
it's like then I can just enjoy the smaller things in life. I can go outside, feel the sunshine, feel the breeze, listen to the birds, smell the flowers, and I can appreciate and love all
Sure.
that stuff because it means more, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it makes total sense. I would love to dovetail off that.
Please.
Just cause, and your buddy you interviewed, I don't know if he ever watches any of this, but just to kind of like follow up with where he's at. So because I totally I'm 100% agree with that. With kind of like the definition of insanity is I've got a not a yeah but this also. And so I'll paint the picture like this. And again, it's like there's been a lot of books written over the course of history and a lot of thoughts and all that kind of stuff. I don't necessarily attest to any of it, but I use some stories because they make some sense. So here's a perspective, and it's something a lot of us have heard of. Again, don't put me in a religion box because I'm not. But there's stories of a guy back in the day, right? And all this stuff. And there's a phrase that is used in there like we are all the body of the Christ. Okay. So just and you can wrap your brain around that any way that suits your relationship with the universe. But as I look at it, I do that because I got to paint pictures in my head. So we are both insignificant and absolutely imperative to be here. And so my picture is twofold: a grain of sand on the beach, right? And like one in quadrillions. Okay. So you're one grain of sand. So there's your picture of insignificant, quote unquote, right? And however, comma, I would say that one little grain of sand is really important because if it's not there as the tides ebb and flow over generations, like it may create a waterway that's really bad because you weren't there.
Hey,
Okay. The
absolutely.
other
Yeah.
piece, again, as the body of the Christ, is like if you're one atom in a fingernail, it's like, oh my God, like they're like one little piece. But if you take that one atom out of your fingernail, everything's gonna flow out. I
Yeah.
mean, it's got to be there. So this is
Yeah.
as I
The
bring it into
duality of
perspective
being,
for right, I mean,
yeah.
and bringing that to people because we are hardwired. It is in our DNA. There's no getting around it, and people frown at me sometimes too. And I just like, well, figure it out. I mean, we are totally self-absorbed, and we
Yep.
have. I mean, that's rat brain survival shit. Like, and the bottom line is, if I'm not taking care of number one, I'm fucked. Right. So who's going to do it? But a lot of people live their lives like that, and then
Mm-hmm.
you see them and they're like selfish turds, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, is there some kind of moderation where you're not so totally codependent and free for all that you're taking care of everything that's not yours, or the other extreme where it's only all about you, but it's this.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is that just like with everything that I've found through this process is somewhere excuse me, moderation of sorts. What the fuck's that word even mean? But it's got to be a goal of sorts, and there's always, again, the truth is in the is always somewhere in the middle. It seems
Yeah.
like when it comes to stuff like that, and so one extreme or the other. So that's the thing, and again, we get hung up in semantics. I think you, me, and the dude you interviewed all think the same way when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. We just said again, that's why Walker has to have a book out because they don't understand what that guy said. But when Walker says it like this, they'll get it, right? Or
Right.
whatever that is. Um, this is why there's a thousand, hundreds, who know how many of these self-help books are out there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring together a little rock story into the book as well because I had a great one of those moments last night where I'm just watching stuff, and so I got a response from a couple really good friends that I respect a lot, um, because of their spirituality and where they're at. And so you probably heard at least the name before at some point. Aaron Nordstrom, Gemini Syndrome.
Birthday today?
He sings for Gemini Syndrome.
I think it's his birthday today.
It is his birthday, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact. So literally, um, the post that his wife put up, Ra, who's fucking amazing, um, as well. The post is him sitting in a studio and he's reading out of my book like I do every day
Awesome.
on the TikTok thing. So I got a
Yeah.
rock star reading my shit, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like um thinking to myself, like, when you're singing on stage and you see people singing your songs, this is what it feels like. Kind of, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
holy shit, that's pretty cool. Um Shit, I lost my track of thought. But that was just a story to be told, which again, I'm totally grateful for that piece. Again,
Yeah.
because these are people, and if you listen to Gemini Syndrome at all,
Mhm.
um, Aaron writes some pretty heavy shit, and again, we've been graced enough. I mean, when we were living in Vegas, that whole band lives in Vegas, or they did, or in and out, or whatever it is. So we got to do a lot of hanging out, and personally, and it's just like that's something that I found again as we go off tangent a little bit is we've been lucky. Well, people say you're so lucky, and I'm like, it's not luck. Like, you make your luck. Like, you have to. You're an active participant in your life. If you want to go fucking hang out with rock stars, go do that. Well, figure it out. There's ways to do it. People do it all the time. You need to
Yeah.
go. If it's that important, you'll figure out how to go do that.
Totally.
And it was for us. So we went and did those things, and it's um, you, I mean, we uh, just pulling out of topic, right? We moved to Vegas in like 2019 from bumfuck Northeast Oregon, where we're back at now. But we went down there to go live the dream, and
Yeah.
kids are all grown up, and it's like, cool, let's go be rock stars.
Mhm.
And we did. Like, it was a year of the most epic um, lifestyle, and we did all the things, and then COVID like fucked. Vegas got hit worse than everybody. That's all they do is
Uh,
entertainment, so it just crushed that town.
uh,
And so we're down there. We got some medical stuff, and we're just spending too much money to live in a desert and watch TV. Everything's shut down. So we came back north to like get some shit taken care of and all that stuff. And that's kind of where we've been. And the 2 year experiment has turned into 4 now. And I don't know what the universe is doing. And we're not leaving quite yet anyway. So I don't know what that looks like anyway. Um, but we're hoping to get back down there. But
yeah,
nonetheless, I mean, technology, social media, all that kind of stuff,
yeah.
whatever it is, it keeps us well engaged. And so that was, um, I don't remember where I got started with the story because the 80s were a little rough on me. So I kind of
Well, I think you
forget.
were talking about how like the significance and insignificance of us as individuals, and I get where you
Yeah.
made that connection because Aaron doing that was a very significant thing for you because he has a wide reach of being able to get other people to check out what you've done, and so those I mean
Oh,
we've known each
sure.
other somewhat long enough to know that I'm a huge preacher of random acts of kindness. There's the small
Okay.
ripples that create bigger ripples. So that's where the
Sure.
significant part comes in. And so yeah, him doing something that was just an easy thing for him to do
Sure.
could create huge ripples for you. And so that's the big significance part of the human experiment.
Sure. No, I am. And it's interesting. I talked to, again, offshoot story because you don't have no script for me, so I just ramble.
Yeah.
Um, I'm in this phase again where, based on where I'm at with my life, is I have some freedom. Like I adulted well enough that I can maneuver. I'm not on anybody's time clock right now. I'm not quite rich enough to retire yet, but I don't want to have a real job again,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So I've got this gig right with the book, and I'm just trying to get a vibe on, can it be something different? And it feels it's got a good vibe to it. So this is again, as I just sit back and eat the popcorn, right? I throw shit against the wall, see what sticks. I let the universe go, and I just walk through doors because it's kept me alive this long. So I guess it
Yeah.
loves me. So I'll keep going. But so this morning I'm talking to my retirement guy or whatever, and he's a total fucking robot. Like green is the only color he knows. And it's like anytime I ever tap into it, I got to get lectured like he's my big brother. You realize this is part of your retirement, blah, blah, and I'm just like, I already know, but I'm like, hey, bro, like my game plan is like this account to be at like 0.07 when I die. Because fuck my kids, like get jobs. Like I'm leaving nothing. and that's the guitar on the wall over here, the swag. Like you guys can have the shit, but the
Right.
dollars, I'm gonna spend all that shit fucking doing all the cool stuff. It's a game plan. So he's just like whatever. But I told him today, as I was like, hey, I need to tap, and he's like, you know what the market's been doing. I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. But it's up today, so it's a good day to yank. So I don't want to wait till tomorrow because it'll be different. But whatever. But I just told him, I said, look, I'm gonna turn 60 here in a minute. I feel like I'm 12 still, but I'm not. And so I know there's a point where risk taking and my ability to take care of shit is going to continue to drop. I'm not there today by any means, but like I was there last year. I mean, shit, I was half-ass crippled with that stuff. I'm like, fuck, is this gonna be as good as it gets? And
Yeah.
you know, gratefully enough, I mean, back on the upswing of life and all that good stuff physically, which helps everything else. Um, but at some point that's going to stop. And I said, check it out, bro. Like I'm going to go. ride this motherfucker now. And if I fall on my face, who cares? Like there's still plenty there to live it, and I can go get a job any day. Like my paper is crazy good in this state, and I'm everybody knows me in the like uh, if I have to go work again, I can. So I'm
Yeah.
not scared. But but what I will not do, and I share this with clients as well, and it's just how I live my life. Like I will not be on the deathbed with regrets. Like I wish I would have. Like fuck that. Like who's
Yeah.
got time for that nonsense? So it's just you know I try to sell that pitch to everybody, and I understand not everybody can do it like I do right now. A lot of the people I deal with in life or therapy or any of that, they have responsibilities. Okay, you made choices, whatever. You've got some things. You don't have to do that. Like you can do what you can walk away from all of it right now if you really want to. I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm not gonna walk away from my family for. Okay, I get it. So these are the choices you've made.
Mhm.
So how can you best do it? But the bottom line is leaving nothing on the table because you just see it too much, right? Or people are just like, I wish I would, and it's like I'm not interested in it. I already did my tour of misery early in my life, gratefully enough. And again, I lived through it, and it's just like I will not. No. So that's where I'm at now is, and kind of like what you said, I'm not totally selling out, but a little bit because shit, I don't care. I just want to win. The thing of it is I'm willing to do some things and ask for some stuff because again, it's just I think I got something here of value to
Yeah.
share. And it's
Yeah.
if I don't, who cares? Like, okay, then nothing happens, and so what? But I'm certainly not going to, lay to rest with a tool bag that could have got out there because I didn't want to offend somebody or I was afraid they'd say no or any of that bullshit. So I'm on tour right now, for lack of a better way to put it. Like, and it
Yeah.
starts with you. Like you're like the first real thing, whatever you want to call it. But no, I mean, shit, you got like a logo behind your head and shit. So it's kind of legit, I think. I don't know. I don't see LLC or copyright on the corner, but I assume you're good. Kidding. But you know what I
Oh
mean?
man, I got you fooled.
Well, whatever. I mean, you got some other people fooled too. So it's
Yeah.
cool. Like there's some outreach, but I'm, but that's really what I'm looking for. And I'm pretty sure because I don't know the routes, but I'm trying to figure out who knows what, so I don't have to reinvent wheels. Um, I know I've got X amount of followers. It's a very small number, but I know people who have X times 10, who know people who know X times 10. And it's like, okay, all I got to do, I, I sit back and like I'm telling my very responsible robot guy today, I'm like, shit goes viral all the time. People
Hmm.
with less talent, wherewithal, any of that stuff have crushed it,
Yep.
you know, and because catch you outside, like that bitch will never
Yeah.
work again. And it's like, what the
Right.
fuck? Like, I want some of that because I just want
Right.
to go fuck around now. I'm
Uh,
old. I'm done with where I just want to be rich and go fuck with everybody. Like, this is what I want to do. And they can fuck with me back. Like, it's going to be a lot of fun. And
yeah.
so, um, but whatever. I mean, that's just a, you know, we'll
So many
see.
of them.
But I'm doing some of that shit anyway. For the most part, it's still very much just go have fun. But I'm, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. And again, I didn't have Aaron in particular on the radar, but okay, so they gave me a prop. Lots of other people I know as well have just like put props in. They read the book, and trying to be supportive with that as well. Again, as you know, I talk about my own selfish, yeah, I'd like this picture. But the reality of it is, you know, it always goes back to that fucking client 8 years ago who was so fucked up that called me up and said it mattered. And I'm just like, well, there's probably more of you out there.
Yeah,
So it'd be
absolutely.
a shame not to get it. So we'll find out. I'm literally headed when I talk about being on the road, like I'm headed south tomorrow and I'm gonna go to Oakland and I'm just gonna fucking drive there. And there's this big conference of this therapy model that I'm totally all about. Like the whole first half of the book is this acceptance commitment therapy. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Are you? Okay. So, um, but I've been to three. I've been to a few of their boot camps, and it's seriously like you've done trainings, right? You've done this shit. It
I
is
haven't done a specific training on
no,
it, but
not
I
this
have,
one in particular. Yeah, I'm
but
just saying over
on
in your
ACT,
career.
yes. Yes.
Yeah, and so, but you go to these trainings, and they're just like right, and they go for X amount of hours. It's literally boot camp. These are like
Yeah.
4 days, 12 hours. And
Jeez.
it oh fuck dude, but it is the most magnificent. It was for me, but the point is that the people who developed this, put this package together in the 80s, are still active. Several of them still active, and I've had a chance to meet these people, and through these trainings and rubbed elbows, you know, and it's just like these are rock stars of the field. They
Yeah,
literally are. Like
right.
I get my training book and I had them autograph my training book and they're like, "What the hell is that?" And I'm like, "Swag." And then I go show all my counselor friends, like, "Check it out, man. Steve signed my shit." And they're just like, "What the fuck, dude? Why would you?" And I'm just like, "It's what we do, dude. Rock stars are rock stars." So
Ah,
anyway,
that's how I'd
um,
be with Bessel that did the Body Keeps the Score. I'd be like all fangirling.
oh, totally. I mean, and it's just because it's not rock stardom or whatever. They were
Right.
kind of, but um, but the thing of it is, and there's one other guy that through social media, um, I built a little relationship with, whatever. But he bought my book, and he likes metal, and he's going to be presenting down there. So, short
Huh.
story long is, I'm headed down there just to go crash the party. Like I'm not paying, and I'm not hanging out or any of that. But I'm going to do lunch with this guy, and the guy who's like the king of it, Steve, you know, started all this shit, whatever. Like he's gonna get one of my books. He's got one of my zero fucks given coins that I pass out to all the people. So he knows who I am of sorts. But I mean, he's getting a copy of the book with some new coins and basically a resume of sorts or an ask. And it's just like, bro, I want in.
Ah,
Like this is a gig and this and that and this is what I got. Read the book and see if I fit. Like I don't know. And again,
right.
he may never read it. You know how life goes. People are
Yeah.
busy or they, you know, he's too busy writing seven of his own books. Fucking fanatics that these people are, whatever they're doing. But I'm doing that. I'm going a little farther south. But the point is that I'm, again, it's, you got to put in the footwork.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's, I mean, maybe at some point, but it's only after some footwork. Like somebody, I hope at some point is going to go, wow, you're really lucky. And it's going to be, yeah. But
Put in the work.
yeah, I set that up.
Yeah.
And it's just like, um, I got another buddy who's a rock star of sorts too. And we're talking about podcasts because he's very spiritually fit, but he's totally metal. He's, you know, he's got his following of people, and he's one of my go-to people. And we're talking about podcast shit because it'd be like this conversation we're having right here, and we're a lot alike and different in a lot of ways
I
too.
feel
But I
like I
mean,
know who it is, but I could be wrong.
okay, well, you can text it to me later, and I'll tell
Okay.
you. We haven't actually done anything about it.
Yeah.
Um, because I got to figure out what all that looks like. But Like he's funny as fuck and he likes to talk shit, but he gets it. And I mean, fuck, we could do that and people would listen to that. I would think. I don't know. We're gonna find out when you
Right.
post this. If like 12 people like go, that was dumb, then I'm gonna go, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. But I don't know, the stupid TikTok shit that I'm doing and all these little postings, people are coming back, that's fucking great. I'm like, okay, you're so easy to entertain. Like, fuck, okay, I can keep doing that. And again, it's the entertainment is the hook, right? I mean, and it's meeting people where they're at or whatever it is. And it's like, however you engage that. And so anyway, those are, um, setting up a book signing here in town. I got a guy who's pretty techno savvy and into that. And we're gonna set up a book signing and interview whatever shit in my local little community. So but he's again techno savvy, and I'm like, how do I get the outreach?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, hey, how do I let people like the people I know I have a book out, but
Mhm.
somebody in like Vermont has no fucking idea there's a book there, but they should, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, there you go. That's um, but I'm always, again, it's part of that whole trying to be successful, whatever we decide to call whatever that is. But again, you do what you want. Is like you've got to be an active participant, and you've got to, um, like I said, it's like, what's my next hustle? And
Yeah.
it's not like I'm a gangster hustle kind of guy, but it's just I'm not gonna be in the box. Like I've been doing, managing programs, building I've been and well enough that I write my own tickets. Like fuck, I don't know if I could work for anybody again. I'm just such an asshole. And I've just been out of the 9 to 5, you know what I mean, for so
Yeah.
long. Is
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I could, but God, I really don't want to. And it's
Yeah.
just I don't think it's necessary
Mhm.
to do that. But I mean, the universe, at the end of the day, the universe will dictate
Yeah.
whatever I'm supposed to be doing. I share that with people all day long too. It's just like, um, you can go ahead and lay out the roadmap
Mhm.
and let the universe know how you'd like it to play out, and it
Mhm.
will let you know you're wrong daily. Like I, it's like I often jest that again, I'm kind of a big deal. I'm pretty fucking smart, and I could help God out a little bit. It's like, bro, why don't you check in the morning? Let's see how we want to fucking roll today. And every day he pretty much goes, yeah, I'm good. Right, or how again, however we do this is like the universe does not check in with Walker, which makes it dumb.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. No, it just
Yeah.
is.
Yes, it
So,
does. No, it's
um, so that's where again, the perspective piece is again, it's hard for a lot of people to do that.
mm,
And again, there's a chapter in there that talks about all of that hope, faith, trust, and how you do it. And it's just, um, we feel like we have to control all the things, or we got to and it's like, no, like, I don't know. Last I checked, like, I wake up in the morning every day, coffee and the dog or whatever, and I lay out the schedule.
uh-huh.
It never like, I don't know if I've ever nailed a schedule in my whole life. Like something else happened in there, or
You're
something
right.
distracted, whatever it is. And I didn't like flip out because, oh my God, I'm supposed to be like, I'm only supposed to be talking to Nika till 2:45 and it's 2:55. My whole life is like, fuck it, too bad. Guess it's going to be 3:15, like whatever.
All
And
right.
you're probably not going to die, but if you do, I guess it's time to go. So fuck it. Like I'm just going to keep going until somebody shuts the computer off, I guess. But you know what I mean? And it's just life is, but that's hard. That I'm only at that point because I've been living it for decades. Like if you would have come and asked me how willing and faithful I was in 1988, I would have said fuck you. Like no, like um but I was infantile in that perspective, and it's um again, I'm not in the hocus pocus or magic or any of that kind of shit as to how things operate. It's the trust of the universe is simply physics. I
Yeah.
wake up every day, I
Mm-hmm.
walk, I follow the path that's laid out before me to the best of my ability. I go to bed at night, repeat, repeat,
Mm-hmm.
and the universe brings me back tomorrow. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just that freaking simple. So I don't get hung up in the details
Mm-hmm.
of stuff. I just know I get to play another day. So I'm going to go do that. So anyway, so can I jump topic just for fun?
Yeah, for sure.
Um, just because we'll get into some of the metal show right now. If you notice
Uh,
behind me, the wall of swag, my whole house
uh,
is that. Can you see what's happening behind me at
I
all?
can see I
Posters, the
see Chad up
guitar
top
hanging.
there.
You see what?
I see Chad up top there.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah, that
I can
fucking guy.
see there's signatures on the guitar. I can't, and I
Sure.
can see like just that there's records and stuff, but I can't really
Yeah.
see who and what most is
Oh
up
no,
there,
I
Chad.
yeah, and I wasn't looking for the detail. It's just
See, I was.
welcome to my house. Um, and the whole house looks like that because that's
Mhm.
what we do
Yeah.
or have done up to this point. Um, and as an offshoot for your viewers, we were talking about some stuff before this interview, and Anthrax got mentioned. So I'm gonna show some Anthrax stuff just cause as part of what I do. Again, I'm a fanatical Anthrax fan, and they're so fucking approachable and have been. And
Yes.
again, they were, um, whatever the universe lined it up. I could afford to do it, etc. And I got to meet and hang out with these guys a little bit, and I mean, we're acquaintances the best, but we know who we are. Like when I show up, they're just like, oh fuck, here's this. So I'm not an artist, but and I'm not a musician. People ask all the time because I got guitars
You
hanging up
think
and
you
all
would
this
be,
shit all
right?
over. Yeah, and it's like, no, I don't know how to play any of them. They're just there for looks, and I spent a lot of money, and they got autographs and blah blah blah. But there's always a story behind that shit. Um, but what I did do is I came up with, and so my art is memes. And so I started because I started chasing a band called Act of Defiance. I don't know if you've ever heard of them,
Like,
but
oh,
it was like Broderick and Drover from Megadeth, and then Matt from Shadows Fall. So he
huh?
knows John, and then Henry Derrick was doing the vocals. But they were anyway. Um, but I started following them fanatically, and they were small, and we got to hang out and all that shit. But I started doing memes, and I posted memes on their page, or whatever goofy shit,
Oh,
and they'd ha 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 back. And so the first time I met him, it was like in Portland, and I brought him voodoo donuts, which always gets you in. You bring rock stars voodoo donuts. They're like, how do you do that? I was like, bring them fucking voodoo donuts, dude. And then you're backstage or you're on the bus. Like, it's, yeah, I'm fucking, you buy shit. You bring them. You don't, not, hey, give me a pic, give me an autograph. Fuck you. That's like, how about bring the rock star something so that the zero fucks coins, voodoo donuts. That's my line. But but I started making these memes. So I made a meme, and I brought it when I met them, and it was a cheap little meet and greet. It was like Dante's and 30 people there. So I mean, it was all easy access and hanging out. And I had this meme, and I had him autograph it. And it's just when I first brought it out, I'm like, "Would you sign it?" Like Henry's like, "Oh, it's a fucking meme guy." Like they knew who I was, stalking their ass because I had
that's
like
amazing.
12 fans. But so that started a thing. So I've got fucking meme work hanging all over
Oh,
this house with rock stars signing it. It's like I bring them my art, and they're like acceptable. and they sign it, kind of shit. So,
I just learned something new about you. I didn't know that about you.
which part? Just
The you doing the memes and
oh, we could get, like I said, we could go on for hours, bro. I got stories and swag like nobody's business, but I'm not as cool as I want to be yet, but I'm getting there. But the point, again, it was just if you want to hang out with rock stars, quote unquote, these guys, gals, they all like they see hundreds of thousands of millions of people, depending on what level where they're at over the course of time. You go through, you shake their hand, you do whatever. Like, I mean, unless something really odd happens, you are yet another face in the crowd. And so, which isn't bad, it just is. It's just the physics of it, right? So, as I, again, do what you want, architect of your own life, like figure it out. Um, so I started with, this and those coins I pass out all the time. You're familiar with the zero fucks given coins? Okay, good. Do you have one? You got
I
one,
don't
don't
think
you?
I do. Did I don't think I did get one.
Oh well, well, I at any other time in the past. Anyway,
Mm.
shoot me your address again. I'll send you one. I
Oh,
got all
thanks.
kinds of shit. Um, but when we go to meet and greet stuff, like that, give I'd give one to each. And rocks, like everybody loves that shit. Like zero
Right.
fucks given they're just like, oh my god, that's cool. And so between me and the old lady, it's like, oh, the old guy with the mohawk, the lady with the purple hair, and the zero fucks coin. It's like when we do a meet and greet in a year or two, when you come back again, you know who I am. Like you don't know my name, we don't know each other, but you're
Mm.
the fucking yeah, you're the, and you know what? And then
Yeah.
now you're in my loop. So I made a very long story of that. My best meme, my favorite, was an Anthrax one. And so it's a picture of a previous meet and greet. So hang on, I'm going to try to get it without pulling
Yeah.
this cord out.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see if you can see it. So, um, so this is a picture of a meet and greet that I memed. And let's see if I can get it in a place.
Hey, Scotty, are you checking?
Are you checking out my ass? Now, and I made him sign it. So Frank, when he signed this, I brought it. Frank just started busting up. But you see, Scotty, what a good, like he drew the line of his
Yeah.
eyes, which are
He's the one
definitely
who drew
looking.
that.
He's fucking looking at my butt, dude. He
Oh my
totally is.
gosh, that's
And
funny.
he signed it. It's like I fucking own you, Scotty. Like, why are
That's
you checking me
funny.
out? It's like I got a good butt, but that's kind of interesting. But you were checking out like Lemmy in the fucking cut off shorts back in the day too. So I don't know. You might cool. I like call me. I don't know. But so
Don't tell
that
Pearl.
but that's my greatest
Uh,
piece of artwork because he's
love it.
totally nailed. Like he just looks at me, and again, this is probably meet and greet number 10 or whatever it is
Yeah.
that I'm here with this thing. And he's just like, again, Frankie's just laughing his ass off, and Scott's just like shaking his head, and he's like, "Yep."
You caught me.
And I'm like, "Sweet." And so, anyway, that's just again, I could go on for days of stories like that, which again, lucky resources, I don't know. These are choices.
Yeah.
What I share with everybody is like, if you want to meet rock stars, then do that. Like,
Right.
and so it's part of that therapy model. The whole, if it's important enough um, to you, you will do what's necessary to make it happen, which rolls me again. Everything rolls in this circle, right? But back to the book, or back to therapy, and I share that with people all the time. Um, as I keep rambling. but like I said, I can do this for days. I do this thing, um, and I won't go like spend every detail, but in simple forms, I tell people you do what you want, and they're just like, "Duh," and I'm like, "No, you need to take accountability like you do." And we have our whole life, like, these little people running around your house, or like they're children, right?
Right.
Kids. What do
Or
you,
gnomes.
yeah, what do they do? They do what they want,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they're running like you run around behind them. Don't touch. Be quiet. Sit down. This, that. And what are they doing? They're like, "Dee, dee, 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 dee,"
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That never changes.
Hmm.
That's never changed. Like, anybody who tells me I didn't want to do it, I'm like, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't want to do it, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I tell people that, and they shake their head at me, and I'm like, hey, you're never gonna progress until you own that shit.
Yeah.
Like, whatever's going, like, you are an active participant, and even at gunpoint, you have a choice.
Mm.
Take a bullet. Well, I
Right.
don't want. Okay, then do whatever they're telling you to do. Like, but you have a choice.
Yeah.
And the problem with, especially good addicts who are very entitled and very troubled and all this stuff, is the trouble with that is it is the whole instant gratification thing, or whatever it is. And I just tell people, like, I don't know what to tell you, except sometimes all the choices suck.
Hmm. Yeah.
Welcome to Earth. Like, fuck,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about it, but that's just, it didn't suck 2 weeks ago, and it probably won't suck 2 weeks from now. But
Yep.
you have four options right now, and they're all fucked.
Yep.
Sorry about it. Well, I'm just
Hmm.
going to get high. Fuck it. And it's like, okay, well, that's a choice too, which now you have a fifth choice that also sucks, which creates two more. So when you get back to it and detox or get sober up, now you have six choices that suck. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but, you're doing that. So, um, I'll share another anecdote with you just cause. Are you getting bored yet? Or are you good?
Oh, no.
Okay, great.
Very entertaining.
So I and I share this story very often, certainly with clients that relate to this kind of story and all this stuff. And I say, check it out. I said, so I'm an active junkie, and this didn't directly happen, but lots of things like it. But I use the story. So I'm an active junkie. I'm out of dope. I'm out of money. It's 3 a.m. I have no shoes. I have no car. It's raining outside. The dope dealer's 30 miles from my house. Am I getting high tonight? Oh, fuck, yes, I am. I mean,
That
right?
determination is there, right?
Yeah, because that's what it is, the driving force. That's what I want. So
Yeah.
I will walk out to the freeway on ramp in the fucking rain at 3 a.m. in bare feet, and stick my thumb out and wait for somebody like minded, because we know who we are, right? Somebody's going to drive by at 3:10 and go, crackhead. It's gonna and he's gonna pull over, and he's gonna be like, what's up? And it's like, you already know what's up. It's like, which one of us is gonna go blow the dope dealer? Because I need to get hooked up. Like, I don't care. And
Yeah.
so, whatever that is. And then certainly people that are newer in treatment, like, it's all very raw, and they're just like, oh my God, like, this guy knows. And it's like, at whatever level any of that desperation or whatever it is. But again, that's what I want to do, because I don't have to go get high that night. I could just stay in bed and where it's nice and warm. But that's dumb.
Right. Right.
So I mean, and so everybody's got 1,000 stories of, like, where they did things that were not didn't actually make a lot of sense, but that was what we wanted, so that's what we do.
Yeah.
And that, again, that never changes. And so, again, it just depends, like, what's the efforts, like, what is it we want to accomplish? And that's really the base of any for me, any successful recovery or any of that is we have to clarify what that is. It's like, wait, what is important?
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm going to be doing, period.
Yeah.
And it just is. So when I can put that in a box, um, then I can start doing, again, goals, plans, etc. You start building. How do I get to that?
Right.
But um, you and I probably both deal with people a lot of times that they are not true to their values.
Yeah.
They like to think they are, or they're trying to instill a value system that somebody else told them it was supposed to be like, or this or that. And it's just like when I therapize, I have no judgment. It's your universe, it's your
Totally.
life. Like, fuck,
Yeah.
I'm an asshole too. So I mean, I can't really judge you or any of that. I've got my shit. But
Nor should we.
no, I mean, well, it's not effective, and it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, so what? You judge somebody like you're just, again, you're a grain of sand too.
Mhm.
Um, but you know, people struggle with things, and I've worked with them, and I'm like, okay, so like, what's important? They go yada yada yada. I'm like, okay, so how do we get to that point? And you develop a plan, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's
It is.
uncomfortable. It's whatever it is. And they're just like, at any point you go over the plan and it's like, well, you need to do this, this, and this. And they're like, yeah, but I don't want to do that. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's find something else important because you're not going to get there.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, it's just that simple. Like, these are the steps to get there. You
Right.
don't want to do any number of the steps. So you need to change what you want, period.
Yep.
Because you're not going to get that thing. You can't.
Hmm.
It's just the physics of what it is. And and it's hard, like I've done, as you probably have as well, like I've done some really hard shit with some people, and they don't like me
Hmm.
when we're going through that shit, but
Hmm.
I'm not, I can't worry about your feelings
Hmm.
when we're going through some serious shit. Like,
Hmm.
for instance, and I talk about stories like this too. I happen to, for instance, and this happened any number of times with any number of individuals, so you can't pick one. But I have a mom whose CPS is all up their ass, because they're, getting high, not taking care of their kid, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. And, then they sit there and they say the things, and you see memes like this all the time. It's like, my kid's my life, my kid's my
Hmm.
this. And I'm like, okay, no,
Hmm.
that's not true.
Right.
And they're like, fuck you. How can you say some shit like that? I'm like, what part about you going out, blowing the dope dealer and leaving the kid with some fucking crackhead is like, I don't get
Yeah.
that. And I'm not judging it. I'm just saying, it's like, and I've said it any number of times, and I get the looks from the clients. I said, just because you fuck good doesn't make you a good parent.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you shouldn't do that thing,
Right.
because you're not. The bottom line is, you just got to be fucking real. Because the
Hmm.
universe is not going to allow you not to.
Uh-huh.
You keep trying to pretend, you keep trying to do this with whatever it is. And again, that's an extreme case, but we can all see where we maneuvered like this in life, and it's
Yep.
just like, I should probably do that um, thing, but I really don't want to. And it's like, okay, well then don't. Like, and
Hmm.
who gives a shit what everybody else has to say? Like,
Right.
I've got my interesting things that people are like, wow, that doesn't seem to fit the mold. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm done with this, or I'm done with that. Or, again, just because some societal norm tells me I have to do or behave or think like that, is like, I have zero time for that,
Yeah.
because it's not what I'm about. Like, I don't know,
Hmm.
pray for me. Maybe I'll change someday, but right now, so I'm not going to put any energy in a failing mission.
Yeah.
Again, we only got X amount of time.
Oh.
So, um, so my mission now is to get rich and famous and move back to Vegas.
Yeah, right.
And so that may not actually be what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm going to burn some energy on that, whether I'm kidding, but kind of and kind of not. It's just,
I think you are.
huh?
It's like I don't think you are. I'm gonna call bullshit on you saying that you're kidding right there.
Well, I mean, yeah, whatever. No, I mean, hey, it, here's the like, if I want it bad enough, it'll happen.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's not the right thing, it's going to be fucking painful and miserable, and it's not going to work out. The thing of it is, even like in recovery, again, I've been playing this game for a long time, and people are like, sometimes they're like, "Oh, you're so spiritual," and whatever nonsense, and I'm like, no, what I really am is like fucking really wimpy, and I don't like pain. And I don't like being uncomfortable. I don't like any of that. And I have very little tolerance for that, where I used to be able to tolerate a lot of that, or be like, I don't have to put my hand on the stove. Like if I walk in the kitchen and see red, I fucking turn, like, I don't, that's as close as I just, ew. And
Yeah.
it's not because it's because I'm wimpy, man. It's like, ow, like I don't like that. So,
Oh,
um, that's why I'm not in Vegas today, is because that's a stove that will burn me right now, and it's just, and I got to get okay with that. It's like, fuck, I really like stoves. Ugh.
right. Yeah.
but but that's not a good one right now, so it's just,
Yeah.
and I got to be cool with that, and so, um again, it's just the nature of what it is, and so, all we don't get me wrong, like, we have to be responsible. We don't have crystal balls, but like, I know rent's due on the first, so I have to, I got to be looking ahead while I'm staying in the moment, for lack of a
Mhm,
better way to put it.
mhm.
Um, and I don't know. It's again, I've got to follow those paths and trust what they are. Yet, again, there's that responsibility factor, or whatever it is. Like, you gotta take care of the business that's going on in the moment, and sort of, we kind of, we lay out our plans. What's the word I'm looking for? um we make educated guesses.
Yeah.
I think that could work, but we've got to be fluid. I guess
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to get to, is like I'm still, we still want to move south. Snow's
Mhm.
up here. It sucks. I fucking hate the weather. Like, the sun's been out. Global warming, fuck yes, I'm all about it. Because, like, I have a tan in April in Northeast Oregon, dude. That never happens.
Yeah.
But it's been nice enough out back that I could go lay my fat ass out there and bake a little bit and get some tone on my pasty ass body, right? And I love that. But but that's our game plan. Like, I don't want to be broken and like old and trying to fucking shovel ice so I can go to the store to get my fucking 27 meds that keep me alive. Like, I don't know how people do that shit here.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. And, you know, and you're familiar, like, where I-84 is, right? But you get the
Mhm.
good part of it in your neck of the woods. We live in the, like, I got death passes on both sides of my town.
Oh,
And these
geez.
like, they shut it down all the time in the winter.
Yeah.
It's the most hazardous piece of freeway in the
Mhm.
country. It's a death trap. And
Mhm.
I'm like, fuck it. Why do I want, like, this is not how I want to go out.
Yeah.
There's plenty of places where this never happens. Like, I
Right.
need to go get one. But I guess not today, because here
Yeah.
I am. But
Well,
anyway,
but they won't be closed down today anyways because it's not snow time.
well, right. No, today is good. No, we're on the upswing, but like I said, half the year it
Yeah.
sucks as far as that
Yeah.
goes. But that's a whole nother story in itself. Point being is, again, um, when it's time to go south, we'll go south. And if it never happens, I'm okay enough with the fact that, okay, I guess that's not what's in the game plan. So I don't know. I still know all my peeps in Vegas. Like I can, again, I'm fucking driving to Oakland and other points south. Like I can make a detour on the road home and like go spend a couple days in Vegas and, you know, and I might, I don't know, and say, hey, or, it's like take the old lady for a weekend. Like it can be done,
Yeah.
but those are choices as well. So it's not like it can never happen. And the people in our lives there and here, like they're always going to be that. There's plenty of ways to reach out.
You just take Thor with you, and then they can all go give the
Oh,
doggy some pets and loves.
oh my God! Don't get me started on the dog. Oh God, no, it's like having kids, having
Yeah.
dogs,
Yeah.
except,
Yeah. Every
except
time
theirs
we,
because they totally can't take care of themselves.
right. Yeah.
So
Every
that's
time we go out of town, we have to find people to take care of our pets because, yeah,
yep.
they don't fend for themselves.
No, and I mean, that's again with the lifestyle we want to have. Again, at some point, um, that matters.
Yeah.
The logistics of that and all that kind of stuff. Because Pam's like, I want another dog, and I'm just like, oh my God, like we do
Traveling
things.
by car, you just take them with you.
Well, you can't take them to the show,
That's
and
true.
you know where I live. Like it
Yeah.
takes 2.5+ hours
Yeah.
to get to your neck of the woods to go see a
Yeah.
show, and that's the closest thing in my life. I
Yeah.
need to go to Spokane or Portland. That's 4 hours plus.
Yeah.
We're getting older. We don't like if we go Seattle, like we're getting a
Yeah.
hotel, we're staying
Hmm.
overnight. So there you go. So now I've got to add
Pet
dog
deposit or,
time. Yeah,
hmm.
and again, it's just everything's got its pros and cons,
Yeah,
right? And
for
so
sure.
we make those decisions. Um, and obviously that's some of the allure as well as those are things we like to do. And when we lived down in Vegas, it was cool. Like we had a good friend, had a high school kid, great. Like come watch a dog for a few hours. Here's $20. Like fuck,
Yeah.
too easy. And we could go do that shit 3 times a week or whatever we did. But that's not where things are right now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, so be it. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean we're totally recluse. Like we're gonna do a little bit. We're gonna catch some shows here pretty quick,
And
and it's things are starting to um, pick up as far as like who's on the road and who's doing stuff, so we can go um, do some hanging out. We'll be over there. What is it? The fourth? I don't know. Nothing more is playing over there. We're gonna go
yeah.
see that,
Yeah, that's coming up soon. Yeah.
right?
I was just
And
talking
they're
to Kat, my photographer, about potentially shooting that show.
yeah, Cat. I know Cat. I
She's the
got her.
best.
She has a copy of her magazine where she took a picture of Joey Belladonna, and I had him autograph that for her. You
Oh,
should
that's
ask about it.
awesome.
'Cause I do swag, man, and I
Yeah.
these fuckers work for me, man. So they sign my shit.
You're like, I'm
So
buying
that
your stuff.
that was cool as shit. No, it's and do the circle like supporting her stuff, and she's cool, and
Yeah, she's the
and so
best.
um but we've seen nothing more probably 10 times, and they've been on Shiprocked a couple times, so they're
Yes.
always a great show, and they're doing a one-off because they're running with Disturbed now,
Oh, okay.
and so it's in between wherever fucking Montana and then Portland or whatever, and we don't have to go to Portland because we caught, was it Boise? It was Boise when Disturbed just came
Yeah,
out
Nampa. Yeah.
with 3 Days Grace and
Yep.
Seven Dust.
Yep.
Were you
Yep.
there,
I did not go to that one. I did
bro?
not.
That
So
was a triple bill.
I'm gonna
Fuck, they
I'm
crushed
gonna
it.
I'm
Oh my
gonna
god,
break I'm gonna
sorry.
break your heart right now, and I've broken
Oh, go
lots of
ahead.
hearts with this.
Ha.
I'm not a huge Disturbed fan. I never have been. I love
Okay.
him. I think he's a
Uh-huh.
fantastic human. But for whatever reason, I have never been a huge fan. So because we go to so many shows,
Right.
I get exhausted because I'm older now. And so I
Sure.
was like, even though it was outside, I should have went because it was outside, but I sat that one out.
Yeah. I and that, yeah, different strokes, right? But it was first show of the tour, and I mean, all three of these bands are fucking professionals. They've been
Yeah,
doing it forever.
for
So,
sure.
y- I mean, it was so. Now, of course, the professionals or people in there go, well, it was a little out of tune, this, that, but
Oh,
I'm not an expert, but I'm
yeah.
savvy enough, and it was just like that was like firing on like they'd been halfway through the tour. Like it was smooth as glass and just fucking everybody killed
Heard it
it.
was. My ex-husband went.
Um,
He said it was fantastic.
it was a great, it was a different Disturbed show than I have seen. They did some interesting things. But we wanted to see, like, 3 Days Grace got the original singer back, so we kind of
Nice.
wanted to see what that looked like with both
Yeah.
of them there. And it was like they had been, like I said, it wasn't like a first show. It was like they'd been playing together the whole time.
Yeah.
There was no stepping on each other's face or cutting each
Yeah.
other off or head trips going, like none of that. Like, okay, I'll play guitar this song, you go sing and do the catwalk, and then next, and it all, and we just, I mean, we're huge 3 Days Grace fans.
Mhm.
They are, to me, they're very much the oddity. I mean,
Mhm.
up until recently, like Shinedown finally passed them or whatever, but they more number one hits than anybody on the planet or whatever. And
Crazy.
but they never headline. They're just like
Yeah.
hanging out over here. But every fucking song is a number one. You go see one of their shows and you're going to see 12 to 14 number one songs. You fucking know them all. They're all killer. And it's just like, how are they not? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
everything they touch kicks ass.
Yeah.
Not that nobody else does, but I mean but like I said, it's interesting that they're like
Yeah.
the testament of the big four. It's like
Right.
it should be big five. Like they should be up there with like Shinedown and Godsmack
Yeah.
and Disturb, like that whole crew. Like they should be
Yeah.
there. And again, it's those are numbers, and I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure those guys don't give a shit. Like
Mm.
they know who and what they are, and again,
Right.
as fans, we know who and what they are as well. So I mean, it's not a thing, but again, you just kind of, yeah, it's interesting. But that's a band, and I think, fuck, who are they? I think they're going to be on the road. I want to say it's Breaking Benjamin sometime later this summer or whatever it
Mhm.
is. And I'm not sure where that's at. I'm pretty sure we're going to be there, though. I mean, it's just because we, well, we love all of them.
Yeah.
Um, that brings me to another one really quick. Here's a quick story. You asked about that guitar in the back. So
Yes.
now it kind of makes it. So the autographs are Shinedown and Breaking Benjamin. My old lady, oddly enough, this is a story I'm going to tell. It's too long, but fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. So she wanted to go see Shinedown. I was taking my daughter to Portland to go see some metalcore thing because that's what she was into. So I'd go bang my head with my daughter. She's the rock star too, but
Yeah.
so we did that. So she took a friend to go see Shinedown, and at the time I was not really Shinedown savvy. I'm like, kind of girl band, whatever, because I'm fucking into my metal. But but Shinedown is, I got guitars on the wall from them too. But so she goes to this show with a friend, and then she the next day they're giving away this guitar on whatever the Tri Cities radio station or whatever it was, and she won the guitar.
Oh.
So I mean, that's kind of where some of the swag stuff started, is like
Yeah.
randomly signed by Breaking Benjamin and Shinedown. That's kind of a cool little piece there. And
Well,
that
yeah.
didn't cost me thousands of dollars. That was just like
Yeah.
free shit.
Given, right?
Um, yeah. So there's a story behind that one. But,
I met
um,
Ben a long time ago with
okay.
their first album. I can't even remember what it's called. Polyamorous.
I,
Can't remember
I
what it's
don't
called now. But
know.
he had long hair back then. He had really long hair and he was young and it was like I think Head PE was
Oh wow.
the headline for that one. And it was like
And who's this you're talking about?
Ben from Breaking Benjamin.
Okay, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were opening I'm trying to remember who else was there. It was
Hmm.
um Systematic was there. They were out. Stereo Mud was there. It was an interesting mix.
Okay.
But it was when Breaking Benjamin just started, and yeah, Ben had this super long hair,
Oh wow.
and I BS with him for gosh, probably half hour, 45 minutes, like one of the nicest people. So I
Hmm.
wasn't sure after they got bigger. You never know. Like sometimes stuff goes to people's
Right.
heads. You never know what kind of people they're going
Sure.
to be. But all I've ever heard since then is that he's still a very genuine and good person. So I'd
Huh.
love to have a full circle moment with him and with Tom Maxwell. I really want to have a full circle moment with Tom Maxwell. When
Hmm.
he was with Nothing Face, hung out with on their tour bus. Gosh, I was probably 18 years old. I bet I was 18 because I was working in Twin Falls. And I went and hung out with them in their tour bus. And at that point, he was like, "You would be a really good interviewer," because I was just asking question after question after question.
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I would love to be able to interview him and be like, hey, guess what? This is what
Right.
I do now."
So I'm gonna bounce in really quick. I have one other pseudo Breaking Benjamin story as well. So, um, when not the other guitar player, Jason Rouse. Okay, so I went skydiving with him one time.
Fun.
Huh?
Is it fun?
Oh, dude. So the story behind this, again, this is like don't ask, don't get, right?
Yeah.
So it started with Chris Kale, who was a buddy. And
Yeah.
so we'd cross paths a few times, but we weren't like tight or any of that by any
Skydiving
means.
too, because I can just
Huh?
picture it. I said, did he go skydiving too? Because I can just picture his beard like being
Oh,
all sorts
oh,
of crazy.
indeed. So I, but I knew some of his story, and he was, working on getting sober. Or he was at the time, or any of that through that period of time. But we had some connection. But I see this bill, and again, this is several years back, but it's Five Finger, Breaking Benjamin, and Bad Wolves
Okay.
is the tour.
Hmm.
And so I look at it and I'm like, okay, I see it. And it's like they're playing Spokane and then they're playing Boise. And it's 2 days later. And I'm like, 4 hour trip? Like, that's
Yeah.
odd. Like, there's a day off here. So I'm like, again, here's a fucking hustler, right? So, so I knew like talking about some stuff like Chris used to work before he became a rock star. Um, he worked at like the indoor skydiving place in Vegas or
Okay.
whatever, like, and so he's definitely savvy with that. And but I messenger him, which again is like once you respond to me on social media, I own your ass, like I'll fucking kind of thing. So I
Uh-oh.
get friended, that's kind of how you try to get shit to work. I mean,
Yeah.
this is if you don't ask, don't get, right? So I got him there. I hit him with the messenger. I said, hey, bro, you're going to be here, blah, 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 this period of time. You got a day off in between. I'm like, you want to go jump out of a fucking airplane? And I was stupefied because, like, literally immediately, it was like, fuck yeah. I'm like, fuck, what do I do now? Like, oh my God, I
Guess I'm
got
jumping out of
Rockstar
a
on the
plane.
line. Like, and I'm like, bro, I ain't no freeloader. Like, I got you. And he types back and he says, we're not paying for that shit. He said, check it out. He said, you line it out, you do whatever, and I'll whore whatever I have to, pictures, autograph. I give to. I don't give a fuck. But like I don't pay for shit. And I'm just like, whoa, okay. So I call up and it's that. Oh fuck, off the top of my head, I don't know, but in Caldwell,
Yes.
they got this place.
Yep.
So I call this lady, and I got this gig. I said, I don't know how this works out, but I got this rock star friend and we want to do this, this, and this. And like, we're looking at something like that. And she's just like, she comes back with like, oh, we've done some things like that before. We've had some, movie star type people and they're all very private. So we shut it down for the day and we can do this or we don't have to or whatever. She's like, who are we talking about? I said, well, it's Chris Hale from Five Finger Death Punch. She's like, who the fuck's that? Like, this is not her wheelhouse, right? I'm like, well, I don't know, Google. Like, I
Oh,
don't know. She said, she said, let me get your number and I'll get back to you. So she calls me up in an hour, and I know what she did is she went and talked to her old man and the kids who were fucking jumping, and they're like, fuck yeah, Chris Hale, fuck yeah, right? And she's like, okay, we're in. What do we want to do? And I'm just like, hey, we want to do this and that. And she's like, do we want to do like hors d'oeuvres set up, get a keg, like do photo? I'm like, I don't know if he's, because I didn't know Chris well enough. Now I know he's a total attention whore and he would have loved that shit. Like he's always out on his bike before the shows, hanging out, because it's just who he is. It's why
yeah.
he's cool like that.
Yeah.
And so he would have done it, but I was just like keeping on the down low. And I'm like, nah, what do we'll show up. So he hits me up literally that day. And I'm driving to Boise to meet him and go jump. And he's like a few hours beforehand. And he's like, hey, can I bring some peeps? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Like kind of late and again, I don't know. So
Right.
I call her up and I'm like, hey, my rock star friend's got a couple of friends. They're like, yeah, we're cool. I mean, don't bring 100, but
Right.
we'll see. I'm like, so so he shows up and he's got Jason and he's got, forget his last name, Kid Chris, who played guitar for Bad Wolves, shows up as well. So there's the four of us going through the training
Well,
thing.
fun.
And it's just, which again, this makes a brilliant therapy story, which I've told 1,000 times. And I tell people, again, don't ask, don't get,
Hmm.
do what you want,
Hmm.
like do the footwork, like if you want to, these things and whatever falls into place. And I'm just like, again, the science is solid on this. Like this is a good choice to do. Um, because skydiving is fucking awesome. Have you ever done it?
I haven't.
Oh, you need to, bro.
Scared
Like,
of heights, but I
fuck.
really want to. I really want to do it.
Don't
So,
be afraid of heights. It's so fucking high, it doesn't matter. Like, if it
yeah.
fucks up, it's time to go. Like, my
Yeah.
God, whatever.
Right.
But until you die, like, anyway, I'll tell a story about that in just a second. We'll get back to science. But skydiving's cool. Hanging out with rock stars is cool. Skydiving with rock stars, fuck.
Next
Bro,
level.
that was a good day in my life. Oh my God. And I just tell this story. And I got clients and they're just like, oh, and I'm just like, fuck, get you some, bro. Like,
Right.
go do that thing. I
Yeah.
like I had old fucking Myers up from Shinedown one time because we'd done some meet and greets. I had his email. I'm like, bro, you guys are in town. You go skydiving with me? Like, I got you. He's like, fuck that. Like, why would I jump out of a perfectly good airplane? I'm like, because it's cool. He's like, yeah, no. I'm like, okay. So I got to know I didn't jump with Shinedown anytime,
Yeah.
but I, you know, I will ask every rock star I know anytime there's any kind of opportunity for that. I mean,
Hmm.
I've got some people online in Vegas, some other rock star individuals that haven't done it. And it's like, oh, like, if I move back down here, we're fucking doing this thing. They're like, oh my God, when are you moving? And I'm like, okay. Um, so I'll tell this other scientific story just for fun. Um, this doc, when I first got in the business, I worked with this shrink who is brilliant. All he does is read fucking manuals. I don't know if this dude ever slept in his life. He knows everything. It's one of these people. But before I went skydiving the first time, I was talking about it at work, and he's like, you realize the science about skydiving? And I'm like, what the fuck, Joel? What are you talking? And he's just like, literally, it is the highest dopamine producing activity
Oh,
on the planet, along with IV cocaine, which when
interesting.
I when I found this out, I'm like, I'm glad I never shot coke because I would have fucking sold everything. After
Yeah.
skydiving, I'm like, oh fuck yeah,
Uh-huh.
I
That
get
would have
it.
been a
Like, fuck,
problem.
fuck the family, fuck the house, like
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
whatever. Like, oh my God. So, and they know this again because they hook up people's brains to
Yeah.
the wires, shoot them up with coke. You watch how it goes. They take the same person sobered up, kick their ass out of an airplane. You cannot tell the difference. It
Right.
releases all the same. So I know what IV cocaine feels like
Right.
because
Without having
it's
to
the same
partake in it.
thing going on up here with that.
Crazy.
Like you're literally like from 0 to 120 miles an hour at 13,000 feet. Like,
Yeah.
it, dude. And I'm just, I mean, when I hit the ground after the first time I jumped, I'm like, oh God,
Again.
right? It's good that the nearest place to skydive is Caldwell. And so, because of little pissant LeGrand uh, airport, like I'd be
Uh,
there every weekend, like broke.
yeah.
Sorry, honey, I can't pay rent. We gotta go.
Right.
It's like,
Gotta go jump out of a
and
plane.
she's like, I need you to have a faulty parachute so I can get the life insurance and pay the bills, you asshole. But no, it's
Mm,
anyway. Again, the roundabout circle is just we've. I mean, I don't know. I'm really an advocate for everything I'm selling here, and the evidence is solid because I'm
yeah.
no better, worse, different, whatever it is than anybody else on the planet. It's like, fuck, stop. Why do you hate yourself so much? Like, go fucking do cool shit.
All
What are you
right.
doing, people? And so, anyway, like I said, at this point of the game, where we're at with this project, again, it's benefited me personally like nobody's business. So, if nothing else ever happened with it, I'm fucking golden,
Yeah.
so everything is just gravy. And, but it has, like I said, it has been spectacular to, like, in real time, see that it fucking matters. It's just
Yeah.
like, it blows me away
Yeah.
sometimes. Again, I'm totally, I have moments where I'm just totally overwhelmed by it. It's just, oh
Yeah.
my God, fuck. It wasn't just bullshit I read in a book. Like, this is real shit. And
Yeah.
so, um, in a crazy planet with a lot of hard shit going on, it's like, no,
Yeah.
there's plenty of relief.
Yeah.
You just gotta, I mean, again, I did, you know what, when you like, until you don't know.
Yeah.
And so, whatever mechanism that is, and that's kind of my hope with that, is like little tidbits of this. If it's time for somebody to hear it and it helps them out, fucking great. I mean, that's
Right.
kind of what we do every day, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of what we're hoping for the whole time.
For sure.
All right, lady. Well, appreciate it. We'll be in touch.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.